Hello, welcome back to Mr. Reed Math. We're going to take some of the mystery in math and make it past tense. And the big subject right now, obviously, is the quiz we're getting ready to take. It's a quiz on, let me put this right in front of you, on polygons and shapes, mainly a whole lot of quadrilaterals and things. And I wanted to show you kind of one of my processes that I would go through if I were going to take a quiz like this. Now, when you come into the class, there's going to be a little bit of time, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes for me to get my thoughts together, to take attendance and do the things that I need to do at the start of class. And I'm not going to be able to go immediately into putting the sheet, the quiz sheet in front of you. So what are you going to do with that time? Well, if you're smart about it, you're gonna make some sort of a review. Like either have your journal open, or what I would recommend is take things and rewrite them, put them onto a sheet of paper for like a quick reference, and use that 3, that 4, that 5 minutes and just go over this and try to commit this to memory so that when I do tell you to clear your desk, put everything away, you can put that aside and maybe, just maybe, you'll remember some of that stuff. And then when you get the quiz sheet in front of you, you can start writing it down so that you don't forget it, you don't lose it. Okay, and what sort of things would I put on a sheet like this? I call this my brain dump. Okay, and so I'm just going to spend every moment that I have just poring over this, just trying to remember whatever I can from it. And then I literally just want to write it on my test sheet somewhere so that I've got it right in front of me. Most big tests will let you do that sort of thing with scrap paper. You can't come in with prepared notes, but what you have in your mind, they're not going to block that. So if you got a piece of scrap paper, you can just write down everything you can remember, and then you can sit back, relax, and take the test, and you've got a little bit of help to get you through it. Okay, so the first thing that I kind of latched onto with this is this formula, 180 times n minus 2. And that tells you how many degrees there are for any shape, any polygon. It's the interior angle sum. Okay, and it's all the interior angles added together. All right, the flip side of that is what's on the outside of the shape, the exterior angle sum. And what's really handy about that one is that all those angles on the outside of the shape, they always add up to 360 degrees. That's a really, really useful tool that I showed you just yesterday how to use, and some of the things you might be asked to do on the quiz. Now, I don't know if this is something that you found useful. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But that chart that we had you fill out based on the number of sides of a shape, and then like what you would do to get to the n minus 2 portion from the formula, the internal angle sum, each angle distributed evenly from that. So if you see 180 divided by 3 would give me 60 degrees, etc. And if you got 60-degree angles, what would the external angle be? And then once again, a reminder, always adds up to 360. All right, but maybe even if you could just remember one line of it, then once you started the quiz, you could go ahead and basically create this chart as a quick reference while you're going through the test. It might be helpful to know some of the prefixes for some of the shapes, you know, a triangle, a quadrilateral, pentagon, etc. All right, then this is a big one. Most of the problems that we're going to see on the test are going to have to do with either some sort of congruent relationship or a supplementary relationship. And what that means is congruent means I've got like a side of a square and a side of a square, and you know that they're supposed to be the same length. And if you've got this expression that has an x in it, how do you solve for x? And what you do is you take them and you set them equal to each other. That's congruent. All right, then you have some things that are supplementary. Supplementary means it's a little bit different. It's like you got these two things. Like if you got a parallelogram and you've got consecutive angles, well, those consecutive angles are going to be supplementary. So you take one angle, take the other angle, you add them together, and then you set them equal to 180. That is really how the majority of the solutions are going to happen and what you're going to do. I would say, aside from that, the most common thing you're going to run into is maybe, because we've spoken about a lot of different quadrilaterals, you might have situations where you need to set 4 sides of something equal to 360. All right, so these are probably 3 of the most useful relationships for you to understand. And then, of course, it's a matter of remembering when to use those relationships. You have certain rules that apply to certain shapes, and you might have some other things that you want to write down. Maybe I would say limit it to 2 pages and something you can just have right in front of you while you're waiting for me to start the quiz. Okay, so this is just an idea. I wanted to put a visual in front of you that you could look at and strategize. We're just about at 5 minutes, so I wanted to limit this one, keep it really short. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll have a quiz. Hopefully you're all going to do great at it, and then we're going to come back Friday. We'll have a short day because we're going into the assembly, and then spring break starts. So, all right, y'all have a great night. Get some sleep, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.